No, I think as a young child, I was always just very curious, always asking questions about why things are the way they are, perhaps not wanting to take things for granted. I'm an only child, and when I tell that to people, sometimes they look at me and say, that makes sense. And I always wonder what that really means. I think that means that you have to sort of have your own ideas, you have to be willing to live inside your own head, thinking about things, having lots of curiosity and imagination. I was born in England. I was born in the south of England, which is a very green sort of place with rolling hills, a lot of countryside. My mother's English, my father was from Scotland, and so already, even in British terms, that feels like you're quite international. The English culture is quite calm and polite, and the Scottish, more Celtic culture is quite argumentative and straightforward and brusque. Chemistry had always felt like a subject that bridged really sort of fundamental science with the real world. So chemistry seemed to me to be that gateway between the fundamental sort of properties, if you like, of the universe and the kind of real world as we saw it around us. It felt as if coming to the US was coming to a place where you could really be authentically enthused about sort of science and fundamental knowledge production. And so that was something that I really wanted to do when I came for my PhD. I've spent time at MIT since I was a graduate student, and it's a very special place. So when I got to Harvard and I recognized that not only could I roam around all of Harvard's course catalogue, that there was this MIT catalogue as well, it seemed to me that it was just an opportunity not to miss, to be able to take classes down here and experience something different. I was offered a faculty position in 2000, and particularly for what I have always been interested in, that lab to impact journey, an ecosystem that was flourishing and really supporting some of those extraordinary deep tech entrepreneurs. It felt like an incredible privilege to be able to be here at MIT, being part of that community. So I think for me, I want to have impact in two ways. And so as I've said, one of the ways I think I have impact in the world is to teach my students and to give them both the inspiration, the tools, the methods that they need to go and actually make a difference. And for myself, in terms of my own impact, I increasingly do work as an advisor. I work advising governments and large organisations. I work quite closely with NATO, with the UK government and others. And the question I want to ask is, how is it that our countries and our organisations can actually draw upon that inspiration to build the kinds of companies and ecosystems that they need to keep, whether it's the UK or Europe, kind of strong and resilient, so that we can really have the kind of latitude of action to take the hard choices as countries and really do the things that matter to us. So what MIT does so well is the thing that the world needs so desperately: the mind and hand, the thinking and doing, the sort of the practical genius, if you like. There's something really interesting when you walk into a classroom. You hear so many different accents. You hear students, from all over the world. You meet faculty from all over the world. It's very rare at MIT to walk into a meeting and be the only person who's a foreign-born individual. And you see people who are drawn to MIT as a place as much as they're drawn to being in the United States. They're drawn to the idea of MIT. And I think it's a brilliant opportunity to be able to talk to our students and to draw upon their different global experiences. So it's not just me sharing my own experiences, but also my students' experiences, because so many of them have lived in different countries and are from different countries. And we can really start to compare notes and take a very sort of global perspective on these complicated times. It felt like an incredible privilege to be able to be here at MIT, being part of that community. Getting up every day and coming to MIT is something that is always really intense and interesting. It sort of feeds your curiosity and your art of the possible.